Good evening, people of book club. How's it going, everyone? I'm a bit nervous about. I cannot believe the way this vote has gone. I genuinely can't believe it. I was talking to Tom yesterday and setting up the votes, and I sort of had a vague plan for what was going to happen in today's chapter, and I thought to myself, I'll throw in one that's a bit of a negative, and there's no way they'll choose that one. So it'll, their voting will just decide how the thing I think is going to happen goes. Didn't you just bloody pick the one? I was trying so hard to be kind. I was like, there's a 20% chance, like they'll definitely. But anyway, here we go. It's not terrible. It's not terrible. There was some theories rolling around the Twitter sphere that I was going to kill Elliot. Don't worry, gang. I'm not going to kill Elliot. Tom's looking at me really worried. Tom hasn't heard this chapter yet, so he's listening along in lifetime with you guys. Are you nervous, babe? He's doing a shaky hand. It's fine. Maybe I've even built it up too much now. It's fine. It's just I just can't believe that that's won the vote. But I think I've written it quite kindly. Everyone says hi, Tom. How did Tom vote? Tom, what did you vote for? Volume?
I voted for volume.
Tom tried to vote volume to...
It was because I saw you cackling as everyone was voting for the other one, so I was trying to sway the vote.
I wasn't cackling.
You were loving it.
I wasn't. I was genuinely like, I sat down this morning.
She's going to kill Elliot, guys.
I would never do that. I've actually been on the RSPCA website tonight looking at dogs to rehome when we have the house. This time next week. Yeah, volume was close. At the time I stopped and did the tally and started writing, there were 10 points to the winning one, and volume was only 2 points behind it. And then I know a few people sort of saw my tweet and jumped into the voting, but I'd already written the chapter by then. But so if you're watching on catch up, if you are watching but a few hours behind, I know a load of people jumped in today to vote for the first time. Do vote, because it does affect it. The votes, as they mount up now, it's getting closer and closer. So Elliot does not feature in this chapter, so you can all relax. All right, Elliot is fine. Am I going to call the dog Elliot? Well, if you adopt them, they come with names. So I guess, if there's a rescue dog that suits a comedian's lifestyle, it'll come with a name. Right. We should start reading. It's fine. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. It's just not at all what I thought was going to happen. So we shall see. There's no new characters. All right. Okay. Let's begin, shall we? The shop on Monday was bright and quiet. At 11 a.m, a delivery truck pulled up outside, and Emma and Fiona helped the driver to unload that week's stock into the middle of the shop floor. They cross-checked the boxes onto the itemised sheet and signed to say it was all received, and then went about unpacking the items to the shelves or the stockroom. Emma moved all the customer special orders over to one side, and once all the general stock was away and cleared up, she dug out the notebook with phone numbers in to begin calling people and let them know their items had arrived. She noticed with anticipation that the Christmas tree for Helen had arrived and was now leaning menacingly against the wall. "What do you want me to do?" she asked Fiona, as Fiona pulled out the vacuum cleaner to remove the box detritus from the carpet. "I want you to call her and tell her that the tree's here," said Fiona primly. "It's a lot of money. That's our target for today right there." "Okay," said Emma, playing along with Fiona's act that this was a normal item and a normal customer. She worked her way through the different objects and phone numbers, deliberately leaving the tree until last, but telling herself it was because it was the biggest item. "I'm going to take my lunch if that's all right," Fiona called over, and Emma nodded, smiling openly at her. "Of course. It's quiet right now." "See you in a bit," said Fiona, grabbing her bag and disappearing out of the door. Emma decided to take this opportunity to call Helen, and she dialed the number in, hearing 3 rings and then the sound of the phone being answered. "Hi, is that Helen?" she faltered, desperately wanting to ask more formally, but realising she didn't know the surname or title that Helen chose. "Speaking." Of course she says speaking. That's such a cool way to answer your phone. I should start doing that, Emma thought, unable to not be impressed with the cool detachment of Helen. "It's Emma here from the Christmas shop. The Christmas tree you ordered has come in today. We can hold it for up to... I'll be in this afternoon." Thanks very much for calling. Thank you, Emma. Oh, okay. Okay, very good. See you this afternoon. Goodbye. Emma hung up and paused for a second, staring at the phone and contemplating what this meant. Helen had to know Fiona worked here, right? Was there going to be some kind of showdown? Didn't really feel like Helen's style. Surely, if she was going for a big blowout, it would have happened at the boat, wouldn't it? So there was a chance she had no idea and just genuinely wanted a Christmas tree on the 1st of June. Surely not. There was nothing to be done except wait and see, Emma decided. Fiona bustled back into the shop with a big smile on her face and a large cardboard bag in her hand from the fancy clothes shop on the corner. Emma liked seeing her happy. She readied herself to tell Fiona about the incoming Helen bullet. So, I called Helen and she's going to pop in this afternoon to get it, Emma offered. Oh, that's great. Not bad for a Monday in June. Fiona had either had a mind wipe and forgotten who Helen was or was deliberately blocking out the possible outcomes for Helen arriving. Do you want to be somewhere else when she gets here? Emma felt like she had no option but to try and prod Fiona into a practical response. It seemed to work as Fiona's head snapped up to face Emma. No, she said, and her shoulders relaxed. No, I don't. If she wants to talk to me, then I'm happy to do that. I owe her an apology. Lots of them. She can have them if she wants, but if she wants to shout to me or whatever, then fine. It won't be nice, but fine. I deserve it. I'm not hiding anymore. I'm having a go at being an adult in an adult relationship. Emma nodded, taking all this in. It seemed eminently reasonable. She admired Fiona's ability to make up her mind and weather the storm. Okay, she said, and they both spent the afternoon jumping at every jangle of the bell. Emma even spent her lunch break hovering on the stairs just in case she was needed to jump in and disentangle a fight on the shop floor. Excuse me. The clock was edging closer to 5 p.m., and Emma was beginning to think that maybe Helen wasn't going to come after all, when the door opened and there she was, in a cloud of perfume with immaculately coiffed hair. Emma froze. Fiona, to her credit, smiled and said hello from her position behind the till. Helen crossed the shop. Emma couldn't keep her mind from playing clips of nature documentaries, a tiger stalking a fawn, two bulls gearing up to bash heads, a killer whale stalking a hapless seal. I've come to collect my tree, said Helen politely to Fiona. Yes, we have it here. Would you like me to get it out of the box for you to check out? Fiona was good. No, I'm sure it's fine, and it's returnable if there's anything wrong. Within 14 days, yes. Emma felt like she was in an alternate universe. How are they doing this? She was shrieking inside. How are they playing it so cool? Even if Helen didn't know Fiona worked here before, she does now. Why isn't there any shouting? The tension was killing Emma, making the small of her back a tense, tight knot of muscle. Helen pulled a card out of her wallet and Fiona keyed the amount into the till and then passed the card reader across to Helen. For the first time, Emma saw Helen falter, and then, with an almost imperceptible shake of the head, she pushed her card into the machine and tapped in her PIN. The receipts printed with a low mechanical whir, and the transaction was complete. Great, that's all gone through, said Fiona, smiling up at Helen and offering her the receipt and her card back. Helen took them both, tucking everything back into her handbag. Would you mind giving me a hand getting it out to my car? I'm just parked down the street, asked Helen. Emma sprang forward, desperate to move. Of course, yes. She helped Helen lift the tree up, and Fiona held the door open for them as they carried it out to Helen's car. Helen opened the enormous boot, and they slid the tree in, both a little out of breath from the exertion. Helen shut the boot and stood with one hand on the boot of the car. She looked worn out. Emma's heart pinged. Are you okay? Emma asked tentatively. She'd never felt so out of her depth or confused in a social situation. I am, said Helen with false confidence. That was difficult. I just needed to see she was just a woman. Just a woman. Poor woman. Emma didn't know what to say back. It didn't really feel like a time for tribalism. There were no real winners here, she thought. Helen looked up at her and held her eyes before licking her lips and beginning to speak. Emma, I'm going to tell you something and leave it up to you what you do with this information. Emma swallowed. After that day at the marina, I kicked Norman out. Obviously, it's not in Norman's nature to accept that he can't have what he wants, and he had a go at winning me back. He turned up at the house begging for a second chance and offering me a large diamond and ruby ring as an apology. I can't help but notice that Fiona is now wearing that ring. and I would assume that she does not know that he first used it to try and win me back before offering it to her. I don't think I need to help her in any way, but, well, there's the information. You can tell her or not. You know what's best." Helen nodded. It felt more for herself than for Emma, and Emma stood still on the street, blinking stupidly. She found her voice and nodded back at Helen. "Right. Okay. Yes. No. She doesn't know that. That's good of you to say." "Well, I don't know. Half of me wants to run back in and do her some real damage." Helen smiled a sad smile. "But the other half knows Norman, and knows it wouldn't make me feel better to willingly let someone else get hurt, even if she didn't give me the same respect." Helen shook her keys and moved to climb into her car. Emma was left dumbstruck as the car pulled away. She swore that if you cut that woman in half, there would be class printed straight through her. As she paced back to the shop, she wondered what it was about Norman that managed to get perfectly pleasant, sane women to want to be with him. There was one obvious answer, but she really didn't want to think about that. It must be the money. She pushed open the door to the shop, her legs feeling heavy and slow. What on earth was she going to say to Fiona? There were no customers in the shop, and Fiona looked up from behind the till. "Your comments are just stacking up." Saw a lot of red emojis for a while. Oh, it surprised you then. That's interesting. How are you doing, babe? Surprised. Okay. "Well, that was painless," Fiona said brightly, and Emma felt like she caught a note of fake bravado in it. Yeah. How on earth was she going to begin this sentence? There was no way she couldn't tell her, was there? "Do you want to see the dress I bought?" Fiona's words burrowed through Emma's foggy thoughts. Yes. Yes, please," she said, trying to smile as genuinely as she could. Fiona popping downstairs to get the dress would buy her some more time to think. While Fiona was gone, a man came in looking for a trinket, and as he left, Emma realised she had no idea if she'd managed to say a single word to him as she mechanically put the purchase through the till. Fiona reappeared wearing an absolutely beautiful, soft purple evening dress. She looked lovely and was smiling from ear to ear. "Isn't it perfect?" she said, twirling to show off the full movement in the skirt. "It's for dinner tomorrow. Norman said he's taking me out somewhere really special on Thursday." Oh, that doesn't make any sense. Tomorrow and Thursday. It's currently Monday. "It's for dinner." Let's cut that tomorrow. I haven't read it to Tom, so I haven't caught my errors. "It's for dinner. Norman said he's taking me out somewhere really special on Thursday." "Oh, Emma, I really think it's going to be different. After we left the pub last night, he came back to mine and he was so down to earth and lovely. We just watched a documentary and went to bed. It felt like a real proper relationship. Neither of us was tense or angry or worried. I wasn't needy. It was lovely. For the first time in a long time, I'm really genuinely excited about where things could be going for me." Emma blinked, mouth dry. What could she say back? I don't know. I don't know what she'll say back. So that's the end of your chapter. Cloth one, which dictated the outcome of the chapter. I had to have Fiona buy a dress for her delight at being with Norman. So you're all bowing out of the vote now. No, sorry, but I gave 4 options, and all 4 of those other options would have made you happier. They were just various ways that was going to happen. And I thought, I'm controlling the plot too much here. I'll put one in that will make it so that. And you found it, you snuck it out and you voted for it. So I've been a bit clearer on your vote. I thought, as it's been a bit cryptic for a few days, you get to choose now. And I'm not being cryptic at all. Well, I'm being a little bit cryptic. There are, shut up, you. There are, what's the word? There are hidden factors in each of these votes, but I am letting you decide what she does. So your question is, does Emma, 1, tell Fiona immediately? 2, tell Fiona after the fancy dinner? 3, tell Norman to tell Fiona? Or 4, not tell Fiona at all? Those are your options. So you're totally in control of what Emma does. Obviously, I've had a little think about what each of those 4 outcomes, how they'll diversify the plot, but it's up to you. Kim says, do you make Tom choose options in this way in real life? No, I have no control. He's totally in charge, and I just have to go along with his suggestions on everything. When was the last time you made a decision, babe?
Well, pick the options.
So there you go. Those are your 4. You get to choose what she does. You can't accuse me of screwing you over this time, because I'm letting you control Emma. Now, obviously, there will be side effects, so you could do what you like. So, does Emma, 1, tell Fiona immediately? 2, tell Fiona but after the fancy dinner? 3, tell Norman to tell Fiona? Or 4, not tell Fiona at all? Those are your choices. Do vote, and people watching a bit later, not watching live, please feel free to vote. You don't have to get involved in the chat, that's absolutely fine, but do chuck a vote in if you want to. And there you go. That's up to you. You can have control. You didn't like the cryptic ones. So yeah, happy voting, and we'll get ready for Friday. Tom doesn't know what those mean. I haven't talked this chapter through with Tom at all, so he's got no idea what he's voting for either. I might stop telling you so that you're just as in the dark as everyone else. What would the other options have led to today? I don't want to tell you that yet, because I think that might affect your voting on this one. I will tell you, but I don't want to do it yet, because I think if I tell you what I'd planned, that will affect what you think now. So I will tell you, and remind me to tell you, because they were quite funny. But no, so there you go. So Artwell thinks Emma couldn't keep hold of any information for long, but we all remember what happened last time she had to be... Anyway, I'm not going to influence you. You can do what you like. So I'll see you tomorrow night for a Friday cliffhanger. What? And take care of yourselves. Bye.